for each of you to know that the video broadcasting is established, and we can turn it off if there's something that needs to be talked about that you would prefer that we do it, but I think that's exciting, and I'm sure our other faculty and students would be interested in it. So now I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Watson, for you to maybe say a few things, since we just started the video for our, which will go into our live TV. Any comments or questions you'd like to ask or say anything?
Okay. First thing is really about the purpose of the accreditation. It's to make public what I think is already good practice, which I'm beginning to identify over the few hours I've been here already. There's so many good things happening in my view at Akamai. I think it's now a question of making that more public, enhancing the reputation of the university, making it seem pioneering rather than controversial. Often it's the same thing, and it just depends how you view it. And I think your commitment to students and faculty is very, very evident in what I've heard. And if you're prepared to make this kind of statements in whatever forums appropriate as the years go by, I think that will be good for the university. I certainly found the frankness of your comments very helpful to the process that I'm following at the moment. It's very interesting to hear just how exciting you find a lot of this work, which is refreshing compared with lots of students and faculty I meet in bricks and mortar universities.
Mary Jo, we have a guest.
Oh, okay, let's see. Deborah just joined us. Deborah is another one of our students. She's in the doctoral program of complementary therapies, and we'd like to welcome you, Deborah. We have two others who are online with us now, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 board members here, and Jen is here from staff, and this is Dr. Watson.
Yeah.
And we're taping.
Hello, Deborah, can you hear me? I'm the one with the British accent.
Your microphone is muted.
Oh, yeah, Deborah,
Okay.
can...
Turn on your microphone.
Your microphone needs to be turned on. Now, I wonder if we turned it, if we can turn it on from here. Uh-oh.
While she's turning on the microphone, may I intervene with a comment?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes, I wanted to let Dr. Watson know as well that the Millennium Project has given us permission to use their global initiatives as core majors within the Sustainability Studies program.
That's very good.
That was a real milestone that we reached earlier this year between myself and Dr. Capagrossi and the work that we did together with these people.
I must. I'll make a proper note of that in the report, because I think that's the sort of thing I was referring to earlier about building up the reputation of the university through the real achievements that you have at the moment. Easy to overlook something when you're doing it yourself, you know. So thanks for that. So Deborah, is your microphone on?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can you hear me at all?
Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me? Are you able to hear
Yes,
me?
I can hear you.
That's fine. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
What are you doing exactly at the moment at Akamai?
I am in the very beginning stages of starting my doctorate philosophy in energy medicine.
Oh, okay.
As a student, working with Dr. Bulbrook, and
Yes.
but yeah, this is very preliminary stages at this point.
Right. How did you become interested in energy medicine originally?
Well, I had my own personal experiences with healing
Yeah.
and working in the mental health field, and I had to take a sabbatical because of my health. And I went the traditional route for several years, and when I came across some other modalities and I healed a little bit deeper and faster, I realized that that had to be my calling. So I've been looking into different modalities in energy healing, and I just feel really strongly pulled to it and very excited and very passionate about it.
No, that's interesting. I might have got confused. Did I hear that you're a member of the you're a student member of the council?
That was Leslie.
That was Leslie. Sorry, Deborah. I was giving you a job in addition to what you're already doing. I do that all the time. So you needn't panic about that.
Okay, good.
Okay. Have you thought about the way your doctorate is going to be assessed and how demanding that might be?
Yes, I did think about that probably before I decided to make that commitment. But I'm kind of at the point in my life where I really do take one step at a time, and staying in the moment and realizing that that will come as it needs to be addressed. So I really don't have a lot of anxiety about it right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So how do you find the contact with your professors works, the faculty? Is that an effective mechanism? Can you interact with your professors satisfactorily?
Well, Dr. Bulbrick's actually the first contact that I've had, and she's always accessible. It's through you know, the computer, the email, telephone. She's been very available through several methods, and it's been fine.
No, that's very good. What experience have you had previously of traditional study?
I am a mental health counselor, and I'm in private practice currently.
Yeah. So you've had to study professionally before in your work. How do you compare traditional study and training with the way you're now working? What do you think suits you better?
What I'm doing now works for me. I think because I'm older and I've been in the classrooms for several years in the past, I really wasn't looking for a traditional way of schooling. Actually, that deterred me from even getting higher education, because I have sat in classrooms for so many years, getting my undergraduate, my master's, getting my licensure, that it wasn't appealing for me to go back and do that again. When I went to go back, so when I went to go back to get my master's, I was quite a bit older than the general population in the classroom, and that was an experience in itself. And I'm really looking forward to the methods that they offer at Akamai.
Do you know how long it will take you to finish? Have you got some rough idea or plan, or are you keeping your mind a bit open on it?
Well, I'd like to accomplish my degree in about 3 years.
Okay, so it's going to be quite hard work. It's
yeah, but I know that I need to be flexible, and I know that 5 years is doable as well. But I'd like to set a goal at 3 years.
Yeah. No, that's all been very interesting. Thanks again for joining us. We might at some stage we might be sending out some questionnaires you can do online. They're very, very short, just about 4 or 5 pages, sort of routine questions, what it's like to be an Akamai student. Would you be happy to receive one of those? It'll only take about 10 minutes to complete.
Yeah, sure, that would be wonderful.
Okay, thank you for that. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Should we try Leslie?
Let's see if we can get
Leslie.
Leslie in, and I think she really is
Thank you.
a member of the council.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thanks, Deborah.
Thank you.
Hi, Leslie.
Hello.
Hi,
Can you-
welcome back.
Thank you. I was trying to help Dr. Cohen join the call a little earlier. That's why you saw my face earlier.
Oh,
Because
okay.
Dr. Cohen from Project Nature Connect is on Google Hangouts, but he doesn't have on his Google Hangouts homepage the link to join the group phone call.
Oh, I must have not sent it correctly. So let me try and do that, all right?
Okay, so I'm here also just representing myself as a student, but I also want to make sure to help Mike connect in.
Okay, you guys can keep talking. You'll see me poking around here trying to get him on board.
Okay, so Mike, did you hear that? Mary said she may have sent you an incorrect invitation, so she's going to try to send you. It should show up on that too, but hang in there. Okay.
I don't know if I can write backwards.
Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not-
Mike, what's your, there's quite a few mics.
Oh, not my call.
It's Dr. He starts by Dr. Mike
Oh,
for this Gmail.
okay.
Backspace, let me.
Okay, DR. I got it.
Yeah.
R. Okay, Mike.
He may go under Michael. Is it, Leslie, ask him if it's, is his Gmail name Dr. Michael Cohen?
Is your Gmail name Dr. Michael Cohen or is it Mike Cohen? He's going to double check, Mary Jo, but he's pretty sure it's MJ Cohen.
I think it is Dr. Well, that's the one well, let's see. Because there's quite a few Michael Cohens, and I may have invited the wrong one.
Michael?
I don't know. Let's try it. It'll come up if that's what it is.
Uh-uh.
She wants
not-
your Gmail.
We're not finding his, it's not plugged in, so.
Well, it'll come. No, it'll come up because I got him there before. CJ.
And you will be able to hear his voice but not see his picture because he has a Logitech camera. And Google Chat has trouble with the Logitech cameras. It's an issue they're trying to fix. But until they fix it.
No, it didn't come up.
Okay, Mary Jo, he's MJ Cohen, 6313.
MK Cohen.
Okay.
MK.
MJ. Michael James, MJ.
MJ.
Oh, MJ. MJ. C-O-H-E-N.
8. MJ Cohen, 16 or 8?
6913.
Oh, 6913. We don't have that one.
Oh, I'm sorry, 6313. I apologize.
6313.
3, 1, 3.
That's the list of digits of his phone number.
Okay, it's not.
It's not coming up, so we need to put his entire email address. Is that a Gmail at Gmail?
That's at gmail.com. And
I can't.
You were on the
From
phone.
this, you do it.
MJ
Yeah.
Cohen
6313
6313 at.
gmail.com.
Do I have it all correct? There he is.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we're resending the invitation.
Okay, Mary Jo's resending,
Is it going?
so it should show up on your page.
Didn't do it. There. Now you have to submit. Okay. Now you have an invitation.
Okay,
Someone else online?
Harvey, is that you who's joined us? Yes.
Hi,
Yes, I'm
Harvey.
on. Hello.
Okay.
He's one of our other program directors.
Hello, Harvey. It's this is Lawrence Watson speaking at the moment. I'm the one with the British accent. I'm the accreditation reviewer. Are you working as a program director?
Yes, I am.
Which program are you responsible for?
For
Sorry?
business.
Business management.
Business management, okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
I'm having a problem trying to get...
Hello?
Are you hearing us?
Can you hear me now?
Got some microphone. Yes.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I was asking how long you've been doing the program.
Business administration.
He's asking how long.
Mary Jo sent your second invitation to the mjcohen6313@gmail. But when I'm seeing you on Google Plus, you show on my Google Plus as Dr. Michael J. Cohen.
Hello, Harvey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
She has looked for that and been unable to find that also.
Oh,
Do you want to check your Gmail account and see if you got the invitation in the Gmail account? Okay.
I think we're checking.
Yeah, it is your Gmail account that it went to. Okay, well, while he's trying, let's, we're on record now, Harvey, so if you would like to, we'll let Dr. Watson ask you some questions for a while, and then we'll check in with when Michael's able to join us as well.
And Mary Jo, should I go out of this call since I'm not a program head? I'm only a member of the I'm on the council only as a student. Would you like me to go out of the call?
No, some of the other students are on.
No, stay on if you
We'd love to have you stay on.
We'd like you to stay on. Yeah.
I'm happy to stay. It's a wonderful thing.
Thank you for that. Harvey, can you tell me how you first found out about Akamai?
I've actually
how did you first become involved with the...
I have been around since the beginning of Akamai because I've known Douglas for quite a while.
Really?
Yes.
Well, so you're a real veteran.
I guess so.
So, how do you find the experience of working with Akamai as compared with a more traditional environment?
How I find it is I think it's very good for the students because it allows them to channel their efforts during the learning process. I think they get a lot more one-on-one contact with me than they would in a classroom type environment. So I think those are some of the benefits. Additionally, because of the structure of the programs, people are able to tie in, for example, the adult learning practices and everything so they can enhance the learning outcomes. Which a lot of times when you get in a classroom environment, you have to, I don't want to put it this way, but sometimes you have to dumb it down to the median of the group, and this way it can be at a higher level.
I think that's a fair comment. Yeah, I think that's very true. Strange thoughts crossing my mind during this morning about the closest parallel with the way you work. It's almost the most traditional way of working, which was Oxford and Cambridge universities in the UK, based largely around one-to-one and development of the individual student. Hardly any students bothered to go to lectures. Nearly all their study was done working with renowned researchers, one-to-one, face-to-face, and what they learned to do was what they needed as individuals. They had to take the exams at the end, but it was really largely customized. We've lost that now in the UK. Even in Oxford and Cambridge, it's not done that way anymore, but it seems to me you've rediscovered to some extent something which was previously valuable as well. I haven't really thought of that before.
I really believe that because, I believe that also because you know, my own experience within what I will call mass learning within universities is that you become one. You can go into lecture halls and you have hundreds of students, and they just don't get the same contact within the US environment that they may get in a more mentorship-prone environment or led environment.
I'm sure
found it to be available as a student too. I have found it very valuable on a graduate level, having been in 2 online graduate programs. The individual mentoring from Mary Jo and from Dr. Cohen has really changed the quality of my work and allowed me more scope to find research and then to practice that much better.
I think it would be very hard to find it in most other environments. That of a tenfold, personalised approach to what you're doing. It's very unusual.
Yeah.
It's definitely a strength. And no, it's been interesting to hear about all of this. I'm trying to, apart from carrying out the review, one of the things I do while I'm here is to see how the university might promote its image as effectively as possible in the future. And I think it needs to draw even more than it currently does on the positive experiences you've had as a student and the faculty have as teachers as well. I think I've not heard a negative comment so far. There must be odd things that go wrong, but I think if it's little details that people aren't happy with, they're insignificant compared with the very different and positive way things are done. So that's a picture that's emerging at the moment. I think maybe the university could plan to use you collectively in some way in the future to build up its image even more. But I'm very encouraged by what I'm hearing, so thanks, thanks for that. At some stage we might be sending out a very short online questionnaire for what it's like to work as a faculty member of the university. It only take about 10 minutes to complete. If you're interested in that, I'll make a note and we'll send you one.
Yes, please send me one. That'll be fine.
Will that be okay? Okay. Thanks for that.
Sure.
Leslie, you sit on the academic council as a student representative. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Do you think that's a useful forum?
I absolutely do. I've been an educator a long time. My husband is an educator and deals with accreditation issues. And I've been a student for a long time as well. And I feel like the way that the council is run, the fact that it exists, the interface that happens, it's direct, it deals with issues. I find it unbelievably helpful as a student to know some of what's going on and to be heard as a student, such as for research choices and research design choices. And I just find it's very helpful.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to find it existed, at least in the way it's constituted. Often people think, fairly small organisation, this is a luxury we can't afford to even run a council, particularly with student representatives, but I'm very pleased to see there is one.
Because one of the drawbacks on the timeline is that it can be a slight bit isolating. So for me, being part of the council and then having this kind of connection through Google Chat and voice-to-voice and email makes a huge difference. Then you feel like you're part of something living.
I think that's, you're absolutely right. That's where distance education often fails. There isn't that ability to take you out of the isolation that can occur. And systems like having the council, I think, are a very powerful antidote to those problems. Accreditation reviewers are always asking about student feedback and how it's obtained and what use is made of it. Presumably you would think that one avenue for student feedback is through the council itself, so your views as expressed on that would have a direct bearing on the way the university develops. Is that right?
As far as my experience has been, yes, I can only speak to my experience, but and again, that's where the one-on-one mentoring makes a difference. You have a voice with your advisors.
How did you become a student representative? Was there any kind of election, or was it done by the last person to leave the room?
my program had figured out that I like to suffer, so he asked me to. No,
that's a completely reasonable way to do it. Yeah. You need people prepared. Yeah.
No, he asked me to participate after I had been a student for a little while. It was being invited, and then I thought it was a good opportunity.
Yeah, so you don't regret it.
Not in the least.
it's another burden, obviously. In one sense, it's more of your time, but you think it's worth the effort.
My experience has been that it is, because
Yeah.
they're amazing educators, and I love the way they make the program work. Obviously, you're right, there are small drawbacks, but I think it's an anomaly. It's rare, and I love watching it work.
Okay. Thinking about your own studies at the moment, do you have a schedule of completion in your mind about when you might finish?
I'm almost done. I have submitted my PhD.
Have you? Ah, okay.
So I'm at that tail end where you're too tired to finish, but you know you have to.
Yeah, I can. Even after all these decades, I can remember feeling like that.
You're
It's
so
that life that seems to drag on and on. My wife once said it was like being pregnant. You know,
That's right.
the last 2 or 3 weeks seem to last ever.
They go on for 5 years. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much for all your comments.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. Has somebody else joined us then?
Is that you, Heather? There's someone else who's joined us that we haven't talked to yet.
So I'm
Yes.
going to mute myself.
It's Heather.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much again.
Okay, I have
Leslie,
any of that.
Leslie, are you still on there, Leslie?
You can hear
Leslie?
the conversation.
Can Michael hear it?
Okay.
Tell him that if he's not able to get on board with this, that
I
I
know.
will try and call him after we hang
And
up.
I put a
this.
Google chat on to Mary Jo to let her know that your Hangout name is Michael J. Cohen. That's what I put. I told her it was Dr. Michael J. Cohen. I wonder, this probably won't work.
Leslie,
But what
we're
if I
doing is
send you the
we're
link of this page that has the what I got used to get into the Hangout with. Let me just send you that link. And just for
Leslie, what we could,
because I think Mary
Leslie,
is now caught up enough in the conversation that it's going to be hard for her to keep trying to. Let me send you this link.
oh, okay, Leslie, what we're going to do is go
Yeah,
ahead and
email you the
continue
link,
with this.
And it may
And
not
tell
work.
Michael
I don't know
that
anything
I'll try.
about this, but who knows? You may have to give my
Continue this at
password to
first.
get into Google,
Well-
but I don't mind giving you that. That's fine.
Yeah,
See if you, I mailed it to your MJ Cohen,
Can use-
nature project. You're usually one that I always email you to.
whoops.
See if it works.
This is. If we hit this, we should be able to mute her. Can you put her on and then we'll mute her? And then she can continue to talk to him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear me? I thought I muted myself.
Leslie, we can still hear you. I need to,
Yes, please mute me.
Mute you
That's fine.
temporarily.
I apologize here.
yes.
Put me on mute.
Heather, we now have you online. Can you hear us, Heather? We haven't unmuted you yet. This technology is wonderful, and sometimes it's not as wonderful. And we're...
That was it. That's
I'm
You-
still not muted yet.
Yeah, you're still on.
I'm not sure what's.
Yeah, try and hit the microphone.
Hit the
There.
microphone.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Well, Harvey's unmuted.
Heather, Heather,
Deborah, Heather may be muted on your side.
what
Can you
he needs to
unmute
do,
yourself, Heather?
what Heather's to do is hover over a picture where it says that it's muted, and then a bar will appear at the top of the screen, and she can unmute her her audio.
Thank you, Harvey.
Sure.
That's the bar.
Mm.
I'm not sure. Heather, are you muted? Have you muted yourself, Heather?
Can you hear us, Heather?
Somebody
wave
can
your
write
hand.
somebody can write her a note in the chat window. She should have a chat window next to her. I'm now going to go up and mute myself because I didn't know I could do that until Harvey said it. But somebody could also write her a note. There's a chat window to her right. She
All
would
right.
see it.
Didn't cease it.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't. I'm left-handed, so.
Okay, so where do I type here? There's that one here.
Yeah, that hasn't been working when it. I think you just took a picture of us. No.
Sandra just typed to her. There's a note for her in the chat window. I don't know if her chat window.
Oops. She's gone. Joel has just joined us. We've talked with Heather also. Joel, welcome to the Hangout session. This is Dr. Watson. Joel is one of our faculty. So I'll turn it over to you.
Hello, Joel. Thanks for joining us. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Great. I'm the funny one with the British accent. So if you wonder who's speaking, it's me. You're a faculty member, is that right?
Say that again, please.
You're a faculty member?
You don't have a Michigan accent, so say it a little bit more slowly, please.
You're a member of the teaching faculty at Akamai?
Yes.
What's your subject?
Well, that's hard to say. Mary Jo tells me what to do, and I do it. My PhD is in English literature, and I've been doing hypnotherapy and hands-on energy healing for quite a while now.
Right.
But my academic background is English literature.
Okay.
And I thought
but
we
you
were
don't
starting at
get involved in that subject like me.
Well, Mary Jo, what exactly am I doing for Akamai?
I have this feeling frequently in places I work.
You're assisting with a number of things with a variety of students in energy medicine and energy psychology.
You have a number of students you're responsible for.
She sends me stuff and I read it and comment on it. And eventually I assume I'll have a specific role. But I'm confused about when this was supposed to start. I got a message saying we're starting at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. But you guys have already been doing this.
That's okay. We've done people one by one as they've come on. So okay. This is just working out fine. We're just asking individual questions from individual people as well. And as they've appeared, we are broadcasting, so I'll mention that. And Joel is a new faculty, probably about a year and a half.
Okay. And
he's starting to work with, he'll be working with Deborah and with Robert Maldonado, who's in the complementary therapy programs. He's on his doctoral program, as well as another student. So he's just starting, but he's a long-time academic as well in a number of universities that he's worked in.
So, Joel, you're used to reading dissertations from your previous work. How do you find the level of the dissertations that you see coming from Akamai compared with those you see from other places?
Well, they're very different. Nothing that I have seen from Akamai yet would meet standards at the universities with which I've been affiliated with. So, but you know, this is also a new discipline, basically, and so people are.
Yes, that's true, of course.
People are moving into new areas where there is not a well-established body of research literature. You know, I'm getting weird stuff now on my camera. it's understandable that this is still a program basically in its infancy, as compared with, say, my PhD was 1994 University of Illinois, and I had all sorts of research materials, research assistants, and other things to go on as I laid the foundation to what I was doing. And I don't think that sort of foundational support exists yet at Akamai.
Yeah, as you say, it's a new discipline. In any case, so there's probably not a lot of research out there to develop from. So people are pioneering to a large extent.
Right.
Leaving the subject aside for a moment. In terms of the quality of presentation of this discussion, the level of language in which it's written, the way it's organized, the way referencing is done, would you say that this is all to a standard you find acceptable?
Well, what we're doing now is better than what I was doing at Western Michigan University.
Really?
With online training.
Yeah.
I was the pioneer at Western Michigan University for online training. Most of my faculty members ridiculed me for making the effort. So this is a lot better. It's a lot better organized. The software is better. The coordination is better. But 10 years from now, everything's going to be better yet. But somebody's got to pave the way before that's going to happen.
Yeah, sure, that's true. One of the things I'm hoping to achieve during a couple of days I'm here, apart from carrying out the accreditation review itself, is to look at ways that Akamai can enhance its image publicly. And one great resource for that will be your own views on standards in terms of quality of student work and the way it's presented. And from what you've said, they would be very useful things to put into this kind of effort. I've got a similar view from other faculty already, and also from some of the students. But, I think everyone I've spoken to is experienced higher education elsewhere, often at quite an advanced level, and the comparisons have all been favourable. That compared with the traditional bricks and mortar university they might have been at before, this has been a very transformational experience for them. And I think that's something that needs to be said more and more in every form that's possible by the sound of it. So thank you for those comments. If I sent you an online questionnaire to fill in that might take about 10 minutes as to what it's like to interact as a faculty member with Akamai, would you be prepared to fill one in?
I would be glad to fill one in, and I think I may have already done that. So take a look to see if you've received feedback from me about that. Back to your comment about enhancing reputation. See, a lot of that depends on with whom you want to enhance the reputation.
Absolutely true.
It's going to be a long time before Akamai it has an enhanced reputation with places like Harvard and Berkeley and Stanford. Because if you're not doing all the old stuff in all the old ways, but that's one of the things that we get into with all the integrative medicine sorts of things. I'm a member of the International College of Integrative Medicine, and one of the things they talk about is the difference between what medicine defines as best practices and next practices. Best practices are the things everybody is supposed to be doing, but they're going to have to give way to next practices if medicine's going to advance. And so the question is really with who would you like to impress here? If you're going to try to impress Harvard, then you have to go in an entirely different direction than Akamai wants to go.
Yeah, it's a full task. Yeah, I think it's it's probably with the potential students and clients that the enhancement's really most valuable, so that they have confidence that Akamai is a suitable place for them to become involved with. I think that's quite decisive, and that would be an objective of accreditation in itself. And this kind of support I'm getting from faculty and students would certainly feed into the accreditation, will certainly build the profile of the university, in my opinion. So that's been extremely helpful. Thanks for that. We might get back to you again later. But thanks for those comments.
Yeah.
I think we're going to try one other. Thanks, Joel, again.
Thanks. You can stay online. We're just going to connect with Heather now for a few minutes.
Okay.
Heather, hi, Heather.
Hi.
There you are.
Oh,
Thanks for being patient.
You seem to have been waiting a long time. I saw your picture up on the screen ages ago, and we couldn't get through to you, so apologies for that. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
That's good. So there's a slight delay in the sound coming through there. As you know, I'm carrying out this accreditation review, and one of the key things that I try to ascertain is what it's like to be a faculty member, what it's like to be a student. What's been your previous experience before you became involved with Akamai? What kind of study experience have you had before?
I've been to the University of Delaware for undergraduate work, and also University of Maryland School of Nursing.
Right.
And I've done yoga teacher training, so it's been a very informal process in that regards. And I've also done some graduate work at Catholic University. I'm hearing an echo, so it's
okay. So you've had a lot of experience of study at an advanced level. So are you able now to make comparisons between what you experienced elsewhere and your experience of Akamai?
I mean, it's so preliminary right now, since we just started, so I don't have a real, like, you know, understanding of how it's going to feel, but just the ability to be supervised and guided through my own interests and expanding on them is very rewarding, and I like the flexibility. I definitely appreciate learning through experience more so than going to a class in a traditional university type setting.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, thanks for that. In fact, it's good that you're relatively new, because part of our review always looks at what it's like to, when you first encounter the university, how you're dealt with as an applicant, the advice you're given before you decide to become a student at that university. How did you find those processes? Were they helpful?
Which one specifically are you speaking of?
Were you dealt with sympathetically and efficiently as an applicant?
Oh, absolutely.
When you applied to the university, would you say that process was very positive?
Yeah, I felt like the university is fairly small, and I felt like I got a lot of personal attention, and the response from my emails and just correspondence was immediate, and I don't feel like I was like I'm on the other side of the country.
Yeah, that's very good. As you can tell from my accent, I mostly work in the UK, and for a long time worked with UK universities who are quite notorious for receiving a student application and saying nothing to them for 6 months.
Oh,
so they didn't even know that their application had been received. And that's not unique. I find that in some other countries and with some other universities too. So it's good that you were dealt with promptly, with understanding. It was efficient. At some point, your application became quite personalized because it would have focused on what you could do, how you could fit it in with the rest of your commitments and your work. Did you think that was helpful?
Very much so. What just came to mind was I recently also applied to the University of Maryland School of Nursing for their graduate program, and I feel much more connected to you and Akamai than I did to my own graduating alumni, like as an alumni from Maryland. So that speaks for itself, I think.
That's interesting. That's a very good insight. Yeah, really good.
Although our football team isn't as good.
So what are your study plans? How long do you think you'll be involved with this now?
Well, I'm not sure how long it's going to take. I really have no concept. I was thinking a couple years at least.
No. Okay. There is no reason why you should know yet. I just wondered. And how do you see your studies fitting in with your future career?
Well, I'm hoping that my career, the possibilities of creating new career opportunities will be increased, of course. Making new connections with new programs, and with my experience getting programs up and running, I hope to be able to apply that in whatever I do next. So.
No, that's interesting. So I wish you every success with the program and with what you do afterwards. And thanks for joining in with us. If I send you a short online questionnaire to fill in, it might take about 10 minutes in the next couple of weeks. Would you be prepared to do it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks very much. Thanks again for your time.
I just like to say one more thing.
Thank you. So, who else is still in touch with us in this group? Thank you all, really. Yeah, go ahead.
Heather had one more question. Heather just wanted to ask you one more question, and somehow it got lost in the goodbye, I think. Are you there,
That's okay.
Heather?
Yeah. Thank
you.
She's here.
We have you, Heather.
So I have made it my practice to make acknowledgments today or this week, and I wanted to know if it's okay if I acknowledge you all. It's Mary Jo as well.
Thank you.
So, and I want to acknowledge you for embracing technology in this way and being so, being a pioneer for this work, and also for bringing us together. It's really powerful, and I'm so excited and honored to be a part of this group. So thank you.
That's tremendous. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
So, some of the conversations Heather and I have had as she was starting her process was currently where she's working, she already is providing some leadership in complementary therapies, and her goal is to strengthen her position by getting her additional credential, because she has so many ideas that she wants to implement there. She knows that this will be an additional tool to help facilitate that. And didn't you mention to me you had been invited to teach something with one of the key persons there?
At the Maryland University for Integrative Health?
Yes.
Yeah, so I've been asked to help teach a course for their brand new master's program for yoga therapists in the country.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Yeah.
We're linking these activities that she's doing and building a base to strengthen that. So that's kind of the philosophy of how we operate, and I wanted to share, even though she's at the beginning stage, how we work with a student is to find out, okay, what is your background, what are you interested in, where are you heading, what are your goals, and then that's how we try to link the faculty members with them and their experience. And so, Joel, I will believe it will be an additional resource for the work that he's done with hypnosis and NLP and complementary therapies. Will be a great asset. So the goal is to, you know, connect people with expertise and interest to go where they need to go.
Yeah. It's been very interesting to talk to you all in this way.
I would
Again,
like
it
to
seems.
add a couple points. Would I be able to do that, please?
I'm sorry, who said something? I didn't get it.
Oh, it's Sandra, Mary Jo. I'd like to add a couple points, if you wouldn't mind, please.
Yeah, that's fine.
Please do.
Okay.
Oh, yes, Sandra. Yes.
Besides, I want to know where Holmes is. Where's Sherlock?
I tell you something, you won't believe this, but about 4 or 5 years ago, the postman, the mailman, knocked on my door. He was delivering letters to Dr. Watson. He said, "Do you know your new neighbour is called Holmes?"
No.
And he was. I mean, the odds against that must be thousands to 1. So
That's
the mailman
great.
said, "It's Dr. Watson again who brings the mail."
That was rather cheeky of him. Anyway, I would like to add a couple of points regarding the issue of references, research assistants, etc. In my department, in sustainability studies, the students that I work with are working in programs that dovetail into sustainability. So they have access to research and research assistants or participants for studies subjects that they can work with. Also, Dr. Capagrossi and I have been working on a course addressing how to research in graduate studies when you're working with an online program. And some of those issues have been addressed through helping students understand that they can go on to, as you know, Trustee Library, there's eScholar, there's a number of online reference libraries that they can access. There's also Ivy League institutions that they can get into at no cost, and often if they're located in a university town or college town, as they say in the States, you have access to going in as a graduate non-classified student to take a course there and get a library card, or like a journalist, you can walk into the library and search the stacks. So this actually enhances the learning experience for the person, because I work with research assistants throughout my years of undergrad and graduate studies in traditional circumstances and environments, and often you're directed narrow-mindedly down one path. This way you learn to focus, you learn to actually become that expert and develop new skills with your research and referencing. And so I encourage my students to do that and to become their own graduate expert repertoire for references and research, and also to be able to learn how to expand that. So Dr. Capagrossi and I have already the foundation for a course to help people develop those skills, that new toolbox of skills, where things aren't just handed to you in a traditional environment, you know? And so when I worked in traditional graduate schools, you know, as an assistant or a TA or a research assistant, my hand would be held. My hand would be held, and in this case, that's not the case. And I wanted to also add that in my sustainability studies program, it also connects very well with the mission of Akamai University to advance the human condition. We're looking at sustaining the human person, and not just beyond clean water and bringing aid to communities or global warming. We're looking at it from green medicine and from looking at environmental costs that you get when you practice traditional medicine. For example, you know, our water systems are loaded with antidepressants. If we promote green medicine and sustainability, hopefully there will be less antidepressants in our drinking water. So with this kind of environment, we have to work really hard to build these pioneering directions, but it's not something that we can naturally avail ourselves in the traditional institutions. And so I wanted to point that out, as well as I have a student that would probably be happy to fill in your questionnaire. Claudia, Dr. Capagrossi Longoria would probably be available to provide feedback, and I could just let her know, and I would be happy to provide a little more information in a questionnaire as well if you would require it. And so I really am.
Thank you very much.
And I'm grateful
That's very
for
helpful.
this opportunity, and I'm glad to meet someone who knows what a garburator is. Have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Thanks again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have we gotten everything?
Yeah, I think we've we've heard from everybody who's online. Is there anyone else who would like to make a closing statement before we end?
I'm glad to have seen more people than I had seen before.
Yes, it's been you and I a number of times, Joe, hasn't it?
Well, thanks to everyone for your time and your input.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you all.
Tony, why don't you
Thanks
come
very
around?
much.
Tony's our vice president, so you get to see him and Dale also.
I don't want to break anyone's cameras.
Yeah, so we don't always have the opportunity for that. You're not quite. You need to move over a little bit. There you go. There's Tony and Dale. Dale is the treasurer. Is that correct?
Yeah. No, I'm the
secretary, and Tony is the vice president. So I thought it would be good that we were able to show everyone. Oh, why don't you have one of the staff come in?
I think they're already over there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're close.
Well, sometime we'll show you the staff that you'll get to see them as well.
Real quick to let her know you are available by Skype.
And tell Mike that we will try and connect with him at another time, and see if we can do that as well.
He's delighted with the whole thing, so I just think everything will be good.
Okay. Sounds great.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate all of you for coming on board.
Enjoy your afternoon evening.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.